So just yesterday on the channel, we talked about BYU or former BYU quarterback Jake Retzlaff, who was facing a 7-game suspension on top of sexual assault allegations that put him in a very precarious situation. Now, there's a lot of details about the case that you can actually go look up. We're obviously not a law podcast by any stretch of the means, but we have read up on this case, read up on the case as best we can and got as many details as we can. So just yesterday, we had the update basically bringing it forward that the suspension was happening, Retzlaff was going to transfer, and the case is ongoing. Literally after we posted that video, I'd probably say not 7, maybe like 5 hours later, the case was dismissed. So a judge in Salt Lake City dismissed the civil lawsuit filed against him, accusing the quarterback of sexual assault and battery, therefore ending the case that kind of was in up in the air for a long time now. Now apparently this was a a motion that was filed by both Retzlaff's legal team and the anonymous woman who is also a part of the case, that her lawyer and her team were also a part of this as well. So obviously, timing of this is very interesting. It would have been probably tough for Jake's next school to take him with a civil lawsuit kind of against him and up in the air, but now that has been thrown out. And obviously, it's a separate thing with BYU because the honor code was still violated, so he's still going to be transferring with some pretty big name football programs that are probably in for him. But I guess, Dion, I'll throw it to you for your thoughts on one, the case being dismissed, and two, like, what does the timing of this mean?
Yeah, I mean, it all feels like very intertwined in some way. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what way it is, but I mean the timing of all of it is very like it's all adds up to like, conversations. I would assume um not a legal guy, but I do got friends that went to law school. So I don't know. I would assume like maybe like there was like the two lawyers met and most court cases end in a dismissal anyway, right? Or what's the word? A settlement of some
Yeah.
sorts too. So maybe the two lawyers met and discussed something like that. It was dismissed with prejudice, which means it can't be brought to light again, which I think that's probably the biggest win here for Jake Retzlaff is like none of this can be brought to light again for him in the future, and he can fully move on with, whatever the dismissal terms were. But yeah, I mean, I guess like he admitted they had intercourse within his allegation, so he has to be suspended. But my first reaction was like, are we 100% sure BYU has to suspend him? Like, are we
Well,
100%
I
sure they
think
have
they
to go
do
through?
because I'm pretty sure like he self-reported it.
Oh, really?
Like he went to, and I might be completely wrong on this, so and certainly people will tell me I am, but I want to say that he self-reported this with maybe the hopes that, because I think there's something within the honor code that if you self-report it and like you basically show remorse or understand the violations of your action, there's a little bit of like more leniency. Um, but I think given this and combined with the civil lawsuit, I don't know. Like if this was just a normal violation of the honor code, I wonder if it would be 7 games, or was it 7 games because he violated the honor code and he has a sexual assault and battery charge against him.
Yeah, well, I don't. Yeah, I have questions on the honor code, particularly in terms of how it applies to AJ DeBanza, but like that's neither here nor there. Um, I do think I think there's an element to this of like he probably tried to do some of the things he did in a manner to where he didn't have to leave BYU. And ultimately he does now. And I will say this, I mean, July is probably the perfect time to be in the portal because there's nobody else. So it is bag chasing.
Hot commodity for sure.
This video is brought to you by NBA 2KLab.com. 2K Lab worked with us last summer as well. They're one of our favorite entities in all of sports gaming. We want to show you their college basketball stadium locator challenge game. And I'm going to share a screen right now as we do this. South Carolina, bang. Oh,
Ooh,
okay, that's pretty good. Next, North Carolina. Why are we only getting the Carolinas?
please
Bang.
lock in.
St. John's. That's New
New
York.
York. Well,
Bang.
that's New Jersey.
We're on fire. Colorado. I actually don't know what state Colorado is.
It's it's in Colorado. There's a state of
Is that
Colorado.
this one?
It's to the right of Phoenix.
Anyway, you get the picture. This game's really fun. They've got more games as well, like Guess the NBA Player, Mystery Fantasy Draft, and more. Stay tuned for all of the college football content and games that they'll be putting together to help you get the best experience out of college football 26. Back to the video.
Yeah, bag chasing dream for a guy that had a 57% completion percentage last
Yeah,
year.
that's another conversation that needs to be had. Like I liked Retzlaff. He was a gamer, and I thought he was a good part of BYU success. I also thought that he hurt them a lot of times last year, and I think he gets a little bit more credit than he actually deserves as far as kind of what he is. But like you said, we are in July now, so like college football teams are going to be, if they're looking for a quarterback, it's going to be a situation where they are going to pay top dollar for him. Are there any schools that you think fit with? I heard Notre Dame thrown around quite a bit for a pretty big price tag.
So I haven't done my deep dive into college football yet. College football is tougher to understand the rosters than basketball just by the sheer amount of people. Does Notre Dame have a quarterback?
I know they have. All I know currently is they have a sophomore maybe that was like CJ Carr, who's Lloyd Carr's grandson. Apparently he was a highly touted quarterback, but I don't know if that's like who they're gonna give the reins to, right?
So they're kind of like if he went there, he's like in a competition at least. Like they don't have anybody like solidified.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that makes some sense then. I mean,
Yeah, that
that's a
and
big school, a lot of money.
big school, a lot of money, also like BYU, but God, BYU is a school that's big in its faith. Notre Dame is definitely the same way. A lot of players and a lot of players, relate to that. We saw Riley Leonard last year. But the one thing I will say, just given the timing of this, it does kind of clear things up for him as far as like his next destination, right? Because it's hard to, you know, even though coaches aren't normally the most morally like high ground people. It's hard to recruit somebody that has something like a serious case over their head like that. So the fact that it was dismissed, basically with prejudice that it can't be brought up again, I think does kind of clear the way for Retzlaff. And I guess we'll kind of see his next out. I'm pretty sure now this is going to play out as a case where, or sorry, not a case, a recruitment in which like Retzlaff is going to be taking a lot of calls from a lot of people, and there's going to be a lot of crazy dollar values thrown around.
Yeah, I think because I mean you kind of said it best. Like he faced a civil suit, but he didn't necessarily have like criminal charges yet. So that with prejudice aspect, I think is big for Retzloff because he's like able to completely move on from this, right? And sometimes like you don't always get that opportunity within this stuff, and there's always like there's more lingering like criminal aspects to it. He gets to fully move on. Um, and he kind of gets a reset, and now he gets a reset where he's going to another place. I think if I was Retzlaff, I honestly would kind of, and I'm a BYU guy. I mean, you know this, Car. Like we're both BYU dudes,
Yeah.
but I think with everything going on, you probably want to get out of there.
Yeah, I think it makes sense, and honestly, like I do, I'm interested to see where BYU goes too, because like they got Bachmeyer, who was a pretty big recruit in there, and they have some other guys from the transfer portal. We'll actually see what happens, but in any regard, oh, go ahead.
Can I make a BYU suggestion real quick?
Oh, please.
I'm a reclassify guy. My first call is to Rider Lions.
But he wants to do the mission though.
Yeah, come do that a year early.
You know what? Honestly, that was if that's in the cards, you might as well do it. I feel like and go ahead and get that right. But yeah, we'll be locked into Jake Retzlaff's recruitment. I do want to end this by saying that there is going to be a point where I do get to a point football wise where I'm like, yo, it's Jake Retzlaff. And like that's going to be said multiple times. I just want to let that be very much known. But we'll have updates here on the channel when we have them.